Yo, welcome back. What's going on? Entering the last leg of the NFL season. Back again with Michael. No Lena this week. That's all right. How you been, Michael? How's your Christmas?
It was good. How was yours?
Very merry, except
Yeah, I mean,
uh
you got to be pretty happy. Bears have looked pretty good, and they're not winning like shitty defensive battles. They're scoring fucking points too.
yeah, that's fun. Um I missed I missed a little scenario on the PowerPoint, unfortunately, that I'm sure we'll talk about in a little bit. But what about you? I mean, that Steelers win had to be pretty encouraging after a three-game losing streak.
Yeah, it was good just to win the division. I'm still not like I don't know. I'm not. There's not a single team that they could play in the playoffs that I don't feel um, comfortable with
Slightly
them
nervous.
beating. But like the thing that I
You
thought
play the
like
Browns.
yeah, but like still, if the Browns are healthy, and this is my biggest concern, honestly. So I don't know if you saw, but the second half, Big Ben just basically called his own plays. I don't know if you saw that.
Uh, I didn't really take notice. No.
Well, like I just saw it on Twitter. Like supposedly they just were scratching all of the offensive coordinator's plays, and just Big Ben was calling whatever he wanted, either from the huddle or on the line, and they were scoring left and right. And then supposedly the second half against the Bengals, it is the Bengals, but I mean they weren't able to score in the first half. Big Ben was doing the same thing in the second half against the Bengals. So like, how does that offensive coordinator still have a job?
Yeah, I mean Tomlin already doesn't call the plays anyways, so it's basically all on the offense coordinator.
Tomlin has nothing to do with the offense. He's a totally defensive guy. He
Right.
does
He
nothing.
doesn't call anything on offense.
So like, you're telling me that through two two games against the Bengals who blow, the Colts pretty good defense, but like they had like 9 yards at halftime, and in reality they didn't score an offensive touchdown. They had a strip sack to the 1 yard line. So through two games, they basically for the first halves when their coordinator is calling the plays, they are at 0 points basically. Like, and then what makes it even worse though is that they score points though when Big Ben's calling his own plays. Like I think that makes it worse. Like if Big Ben went out there and was calling his own plays and they still look like shit, it'd be like, okay, like maybe their offense just doesn't have it. But like Colts got a pretty good defense and they were moving the ball up and down on them. So it's like, what are we doing here? Why does this guy still have a job? I guess is my question. Like he shouldn't be coaching. Um and Big Ben the rest of the year should just be calling his own plays. Like, yeah, okay, they play the Browns this weekend. Mason Rudolph starting, so who fucking really cares about the game? And maybe it's a much needed break for Big Ben, but like they're able to complete down the field passes, so like their scheme is just horrendous. Then, so Big Ben should just call plays the rest of the fucking season. That is the only way I have any confidence of them winning a playoff game. This dude is still calling plays. It's over. It is done. There's no reason to even play because this guy is fucking horrible. So, but it was good to win. Like I said, I didn't want to go into this weekend like them having to win the division. This
Right.
weekend means nothing. Tomlin said everyone but Big Ben is playing, but I really don't see a point to be honest with you, because like their defense has had so many injuries this year. I wouldn't risk another guy getting injured. They've had so many injuries, and they've still been this good. Where the first half they looked like shit, yeah, but like it's tough when the offense is so bad. But so I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I
Well,
mean, you got to feel pretty good though, because you've kind of been right the entire time about your Mitch debate.
yeah. Bro, hopefully there's not another team out there like looking to shark him up in the free agency because
Well, that's the thing is like I think the way that the Bears treated him, if someone comes in with decent money, I think he's gone in a second, which sucks for you.
which I don't think will necessarily happen.
I don't know. I could see some shitty
Not
team.
like a crazy amount of money, but I definitely feel
No,
like
but I mean, if someone gives him 10 million a year, he's gone.
yeah, but I don't. There no way someone gives them 10 a year.
I don't know. I honestly think someone might.
I
You
feel
know
like
what? I was thinking about this. The way the Rams play, and I don't think they would, first off, because they've signed Goff to a gazillion dollars. But I honestly think, like, the way McVay calls plays and everything, Mitch Trubisky would fit perfectly in that offense.
I thought about that with my dad earlier today. Like teams where Mitch would fit in. Um,
Because, like, half the reason why the Rams offense doesn't work, they run so many rollouts and stuff. Jared Goff can't run. So, like,
no,
he's so open. But by the time he gets to 2 yards, when, like, if it was Mitch or like someone very athletic, it'd be like 35 yards because no one's near him. But like, and McVay's such a good offensive coordinator, they're just so limited with um Goff. But like, yeah, I think he would. But like, it's like, they just signed Goff to 20 million a
yeah,
year.
way too much money.
Yeah, I mean,
Carson Wentz type of contract.
yeah, yeah. So like, I will agree with you. I don't think there's a lot of teams necessarily that, like, I don't think a tanking team is gonna. Now maybe a tanking team would sign Mitch to like 12 mil a year for 1 year and just say, hey, if Mitch wins, he wins, or we're gonna be bad and we're gonna get a good draft pick, that
Yeah,
kind of thing. But yeah, I don't know. It's gonna be tough for sure.
yeah, especially like where they're looking to be in the draft order at
Yeah,
this point. I mean, I said it a couple episodes ago. Um, I don't want to take a quarterback in the first round now. Like, I mean, I'm cool if they want to try to draft and develop a quarterback out of like they're not any round but the first round.
yeah.
Um,
Well, that's the thing.
I
I think there's like
I
other
think
than
we could get the third best offensive lineman out of the draft.
Trevor Lawrence, and like I'd throw Justin Fields in the top 15, but like I kind of feel like a bunch of those quarterbacks in terms of talent like aren't that far off of each other. So like the guy you get in the second round, I don't think is going to be
Right.
way worse than the guy that you could have gotten in the first round.
Or one of them might even drop to the third.
That's what I'm saying though. Is like
Right.
there's a lot of quarterbacks, and I think other than which like I don't know, I'm not sold on Justin Fields right now, but like obviously Trevor. If you can get Trevor Lawrence, you're fucking taking Trevor Lawrence. Like that's clear
Oh
as
yeah.
day. But like other than that, it's like I mean Zach Wilson or Kyle Trask. Let's say they both like one of them falls. Like I don't see a drop off between the two of them.
Right. Either one.
Really, yeah. So yeah, I agree with you. I don't think the Bears should draft a quarterback. But I was listening to the Redline Radio guys talk, and like if Pace would have just first off, it would be interesting to see what they would be like if Mitch would have played the whole time. But like Pace has done pretty well on drafts like rounds 3 through 7.
Yeah, he definitely knows how to like spot some value, especially on defense. Like we talked about that last week, like or last episode or 2 episodes ago. Um, but like Pace's eye for defensive talent
Mm-hmm.
is unreal.
Mm-hmm.
Like I might have talked about this with some friends. I really can't remember, but I think it'd be awesome if Pace became like the defensive scout and like talent analyst for the
And
Bears.
bring another guy in for
Yeah,
the
try to keep him on, but like just not in the GM role.
yeah.
He's like the cabinet of the GM and just advises like every single defensive uh player that's
Mm-hmm.
on their radar. But obviously we've seen his struggles on the offensive side.
Yeah. But the
And
thing is, though, in his defense, let's say Mitch did leave and Mitch played super well. Like, I think that
oh,
I think that falls completely on Nagy. Then you know what I
yeah,
mean?
I'm not even just talking about Mitch. Like people I saw this on Twitter and I completely agree. Like Mitch is not a bust. Overdrafted, yes, but like not a bust.
Oh, I think if Deshaun Watson and Patrick Mahomes and like people like yeah, Deshaun Watson's very good, but also like I mean the Houston Texans are just a disaster. So I can't you can't put it all on, but like their team is 4-11. Let's not act like
Yeah.
he has been to the playoffs though, but like so if Mahomes and Watson were in that draft, I don't think Mitch gets this huge label as he does. You know what I mean though? Like
Yeah, I
that's
mean,
like that's like
purely
half,
by comparison.
yeah, that's like 75% of the big problem is like, oh, you could have had this, you could have had that. And I think that's why everyone's like, oh, Mitch is a bust. And it's like you said though, he is not a bust at all. And you know, if Mitch goes, and I think he could, if he goes to another team and plays well, like I said, I think that's more on Nagy than it is anybody else. Then you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and then like, and also, I mean, he's been playing well, and like, is he going to be the guy who goes and slings it and drops back and slings it for 400 yards? No, but you get him in rollouts, you play to his strength. He's a decent quarterback. So
Yeah,
yeah,
I've never seen Nagy use Trubisky as well as he's used him in the past 3 or
weeks,
4
yeah,
games.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. Like, it would be interesting how their season would have started if uh, they used him like that to start the year. You know, like he's not a drop back quarterback. That's just, and everyone knew that going into the draft too. Though it wasn't like that was his thing in North Carolina. Like it wasn't, you know, like that's not like a brand new thing that just appeared. Like it's how Mitch has always played football. So, but yeah, that's interesting. This weekend's gonna be awesome. Like it is kind of crazy
Yeah.
how, like, other than the Chiefs, not a single team knows what or who or when they're playing. Like even
Oh
in
yeah, like in the first round.
even if the in the NFC, let's say the Bears beat the Packers and the Saints and Seahawks win, like that's a 3-way tie. So it's like, you know, it's no one knows any of it, which is just wild.
Yeah.
And um and then you have like the NFC has, you know, the Bears, Cardinals, Rams, and then you have in the AFC, I mean, you have the Colts, Browns, Ravens, Dolphins. So it's like so much good football on. It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, look, it's looking like it's really unfortunate for the Bears that um the Seahawks have won the past couple of weeks in a row.
Yeah,
Uh,
like if the Seahawks would have dropped one, then it's like Packers are packing it in because they have the tiebreaker over the Saints.
exactly.
Yeah,
So it
and
really,
what sucks too for you guys is like the way the Packers looked in that snow. You know, they're thinking like we have to get home field.
yeah, I agree. I mean, it sucks, but and
But
then
but I mean, if Kyler Murray doesn't play, the Cardinals, I don't care if Jared Goff is playing or not. Cardinals are not beating the Rams.
well, Jared Goff is 100% not playing,
And
and
Kyler's what, questionable or
yeah, because they did the thumb surgery yesterday, and then the Rams signed Blake Bortles.
I hope he plays over their backup.
I do too, but
Yeah.
it just I feel like they'll start with the first backup
Yeah,
just because he knows the
for sure.
playbook, see how it goes, and then whatever. If you want to put Blake Bortles in, go ahead. Fuck it.
It's gonna be
I
like
don't I don't I don't know anything about the backup. It's like Wolford
didn't
or
even
something.
know who he was.
It's like something
Yeah,
Wolford.
no, I saw the name. I didn't even know who he was. And then someone's like, "Oh, they signed Blake Bortles." I was like, "Oh, I know who Blake
Like
Bortles is."
I couldn't even make a
But
guess on how old he is or anything.
also, like, Kyler clearly wasn't 100% last weekend, and he looked like garbage. So, like,
Yeah.
even if he does play, yeah, he gives you legs. I don't know how the Cardinals back up. I can't imagine he's as athletic as Kyler is, but like, you know, it's like kind of like the Daniel Jones argument thing of like Daniel Jones with half of a hamstring isn't getting you anything. And half of the Daniel Jones aspect is he's actually athletic and he gets you yards, where it's like he can't run, so he's just taking sacks. And like, is that what, like, Kyler's not going to just take sacks, but like, if he can't throw the ball downfield, that's literally 60% of their offense. So you're able to do a lot more on defense. And the Rams do have a very good defense. So, um, you know, obviously, if you're the Bears, you just want to beat the Packers. But I don't think if you lose, like, you should be as worried as I would be, I guess. Like, with the Rams losing to the Seahawks, and the Rams have to win to get in. And I think the Rams are a better football team, and they're definitely better coached. So it's all like, I think a lot of things go towards the, for the Bears. But, you know, it'll be crazy Sunday, though.
Well, yeah. So the Rams get in with either a win or a Bears loss.
Yes.
Um, So I mean, when halftime hits, all these like half of these teams' coaches are just going to be looking at the scoreboards.
Well, the Rams will know before they even play if they have to win or not.
What do you mean?
So, well, I get
So the way they set up the
so
schedule,
if the Cardinals and Bears win, the Rams are out, right?
yeah.
But if the so yeah, but I'm saying the Bears play at 1, Cardinals play at 4.
No, no, no. So the way the schedule's set up,
Did they push the Bears game back to 4?
yeah. So like
Oh, okay.
all the NFC games that have like implications on the playoffs
Or
will be played at 4:30,
okay.
and all the AFC teams
At 1.
that have playoff implications play at 1.
I kind of like that. I like that.
Just
But
so like no one has like an outright advantage over
yeah, of not knowing,
knowing.
which I think that's very fair.
Oh, definitely. I
Yeah,
agree.
yeah. Okay, so let's get into the AFC first then. So you got what? You got the Ravens play the Bengals. I think we're both in agreement that they'll beat the shit out of them. The way the Ravens have been playing, you know what I mean? They're playing very good right now. They're like
I
the one
mean, the Bengals put up some points.
they are, but I mean, as we saw the past few weeks, if you play the Texans, anybody can put up points. But
That's
I
fair.
don't think it will be as easy as a game as people might think, because I do agree. I think the Bengals are playing better football, but
Right.
also I don't like. I think the Ravens, the way that they're playing and the way Lamar Jackson is in a rhythm, I think they're going to be a tough beat, and it's a must win. So they're going to be giving it all because it's a must win. So I think we both would. I mean, if you had a money line bet pick on that, you're taking the Ravens, right? If it was pick 'em game, like
Yeah, I should dinner. Oh, yeah, I'm gonna pull it up.
so.
I haven't looked at the AFC games at all this week. I wonder
So
what the
yeah,
line
so,
is for
so the
them.
Ravens playing the Bengals. Think we both agree. The Colts get the Jags, which they're lucky with that one. But also the Colts need a team to lose. So if every team wins, the Colts are out.
Yeah,
But
they have to win and get a loss.
either Ravens, Dolphins, or Browns lose. But I think we both agree the Colts are going to win. And then the Dolphins play the Bills.
Right.
Now, the Bills and the Steelers, if the Steelers lose, the Bills get the 2 seed. If the Bills win.
Right.
If they both
I mean,
lose,
both of those teams are gonna play to win 100%.
the Steelers are resting uh,
Big
Big
Ben.
Ben. So I think that helps the Bills because they're like, okay, the Steelers have a good chance of losing. We're gonna go for it.
Yeah. I
But
mean, that is smart by like Pittsburgh. Just say like,
well,
we're gonna have to play the Chiefs at some point anyway.
yeah,
Like, let's not hurt Big Ben and ruin our chances before
oh,
playoffs
it's
start.
100%. It's like, dude, first off,
Especially when they're playing the Browns, when they might already like if they would lose with Big Ben to go into the playoffs, like
and
that's
have to
such a
put, yeah,
momentum
yeah,
killer.
yeah,
But
for
just to
sure,
like roll over and say, we're okay with the 3 seed. Like you guys can we'll let you guys make the playoffs.
right. So,
I mean, that's terrible for the Colts.
well, that's my
That is awful for the Colts.
not necessarily because if the Bills beat the Dolphins, the Colts are in.
Right, but I'm saying the if the Colts obviously are going to beat the Jags, they would have 2 shots at making it into the playoffs, either the Bills winning or the Steelers winning.
Yes, yes. So they have to hope that the Bills are gonna gun for it, not rest anyone too. So because the Ravens, Bengals, both teams are gonna play all their players. Last game, the Bengals have nothing to lose, and the
Yeah,
Ravens have to win. The Colts are gonna play everyone because they have to win. Where the Dolphins and Browns might get lucky, as the Browns I think are already getting lucky. Big Ben's not playing. Does Josh Allen play 4 quarters? Do they value the home field because now they say they're going to let fans in Buffalo, like all that kind of thing. So it's like, what are you going to get for 4 quarters? Now for the Browns, what is TJ Watt and Cam Hayward and Minka Fitzpatrick and them going to play 4 quarters after all the injuries you've seen
Probably
this year.
not.
I don't think no, and especially if the Browns get like a 10-point lead at half, like I think they're pulling all their starters. Like I don't think they're going to be like, oh, we'll come back with Mason Rudolph and risk injury. Like
The Steelers pulling this move means they're very content with like playing the Ravens in
I think they're. I literally think they are okay playing anyone, like other than the Chiefs. Though I think so. Like I think they had a chance at the 1 seed. I don't think they would, but like I think other than once they didn't get the 1 seed, I think they're just like, all right, we'll play 2 or 3 seed. I don't think it's going to affect us. Like I honestly think that's how they felt because in all honesty, they've played fairly well on the road this year. Like they lost to the Bengals, but I think they would have lost that game at home or away. I don't think that was
yeah.
because they're on the road. I mean, they beat the Ravens on the road. Like, you take away Big Ben pissing down his leg against the Bills. It was a 3-point game. They all should have been winning at halftime. So it's like, I don't. I think they're thinking we don't really care, but that'll be interesting. But I think it's more the Bills. Like, are the Bills gonna, play 4 quarters?
Yeah, so like for all those matchups right now, obviously with the news about Big Ben, the Steelers are 10-point underdogs to the Browns,
That makes sense.
um, plus 380. And then the other game, like the Bills, it's not the Bills game isn't even listed because they don't know how they're going to respond to
I was gonna
that
say,
news about the Steelers.
yeah, that makes sense.
Um, and then the Texans line is about 7.5. There's no reason either one of those teams should be.
So if the Titans lose, do they still get in, but they don't win the division?
No.
They're out if they lose.
Yeah.
Oh
Assum-
shit!
Assuming that Miami,
Yeah, everyone else wins. Yeah,
Baltimore, and
and
but
Colts.
they would literally swap with the Colts, and the Colts would. Uh, I'm pretty sure.
No, I think you're right. Colts would win because Colts and Titans split,
Yeah.
and then the tiebreaker, like the Browns beat the Titans. The Ravens, did they beat the
Yeah.
Titans?
Yeah. This says right here, if the Titans lose, a door opens for the Colts to take the division, and the Titans fall out of the playoffs.
Yeah.
They
Okay.
have the head-to-head tiebreaker over the Ravens, but lose it to the Browns.
Yeah, because then it would be like a 4-way tie. So yeah, okay. So yeah, the Titans need to win. Luckily, they get to play Houston. Then what's the Ravens line?
I think it was 13
Okay.
over the Bengals.
Yeah, over the Bengals.
I mean, right now, if the Bengals lose, they stay locked up with the number 3 overall pick, and if they lose, they could potentially fall more.
Yeah, they said that. I mean, the Bengals, honestly, the way that they finished the season, it's kind of been nice because like they've gotten some momentum, they've played well, and they're probably still going to get the 3rd pick, which is like not like you don't want the 1st or 2nd because you don't need a quarterback. Like you're going to get
Yeah,
your offensive lineman probably that you need.
yeah.
So
So that win over the Texans actually dropped them a pick uh, in the next draft.
yeah, okay.
So they should probably lose because if they win and the Eagles lose, they drop another pick.
Yeah, no, and I mean they're kind of lucking out. They're playing a team that has to win.
Yeah, it definitely feels like a spot where the Bengals should say, "Hey, we had fun winning those couple of games, but
Yeah, no,
we
exactly.
gotta get a
Yeah.
good lineman to help Joe Burrow out next season. So like, let's calm it down here."
And if we tank, like no one can really say shit because we're playing the Ravens in a must win. Like
Right.
so, yeah, no, I agree. All right, so then give your who do you think's gonna make the playoffs from the AFC?
It's so hard. I have so many friends that are Colts fans, so I really want to try to draw out like a likely scenario here. But with the news about Big Ben, um, shit, I don't know. I don't know what the COVID situation is going to be for the Browns receivers. Like honestly,
They're
if
supposed to get back tomorrow if everything goes as planned. That's what I read today.
okay,
So
hopefully that works out because I don't know what was up with their coaching too. Like, why the fuck would the game they don't have the receivers be the game where they run the least in like the past 10
Well,
games of the season?
the thing too is like when they were on that winning streak, all they did was run the ball. It wasn't
Right.
like they were airing it out with all those receivers, and then you throw in that you're missing all of them.
I
Baker's
don't get it.
never been a 50 throw guy in the NFL, so why would you pick that game to do it? That made no sense, like
No.
0 sense.
Uh,
Especially because you're playing the Jets too. It's like run the ball with the you have maybe the best 1-2 punch in terms of running the ball in football. I know you're missing some linemen, but like you can't just avoid the run game. I mean,
yeah. Well, this I guess this would be my I'm gonna kind of go out on a limb here. I think the Bills are having a lot of fun. I think they're gonna say fuck resting.
I agree.
Everyone wants to play, so I think the Bills are gonna knock Miami out just to be AFC East bullies. They
I
said
would.
this is our division.
That's what I was gonna say. I think the Browns, Colts, Titans, Ravens win, and the Dolphins lose. So those
Yeah,
Titans stay the AFC South champions. Ravens, Browns, and
I don't know how that tiebreaker would work between the Ravens, the Browns, and the Colts if they're all 11-5.
Ravens
Uh,
would win that,
well, the Ravens beat the Browns both times, right?
and they beat the Colts. So
They played.
yeah, they beat the Colts in Indy, so they win both those tiebreakers.
Oh yeah, that was the
Yeah,
week I was trying to
and then the Browns win the
hate
tiebreakers
the
over Cleveland,
fucking Ravens.
and the Browns
Uh,
would beat the Browns would beat the had the tiebreaker over Indy because they beat Indy.
I didn't remember they played either.
Yeah, they played like the week after the Bears lost to the Colts.
Oh, and shit on them.
Yeah, so like,
Damn. So
so
yeah,
the
the Colts would play the Bills in the first round.
yeah, yeah, by that scenario, yes.
I like that. I mean, I don't feel like
And
that's
then
super
then
unreasonable.
the Steelers would play the Browns
Yep, the Steelers would play the Browns. That would work out.
2 weeks in a row.
I mean, I don't know how you feel about that.
I would say I would like it because I think Baker in Pittsburgh, fans or no fans, I'll
Yeah.
take that every day.
Yeah, isn't this is fucking nuts that 3 AFC North teams are going to be in the playoffs, dog. Like thinking back like not like right before Lamar days of I mean the Ravens had some bad like a couple bad years with
Flacco.
right at the end before he left,
Yep.
and that division was kind of in shambles, and now Baker's having a great season.
Yep.
Lamar's coming off MVP year. So I mean that's pretty cool. 3 AFC North
Well, that's
teams.
what's crazy about the Bengals is like, dude, yeah, you got Joe Burrow, but like, fuck your division so hard right now.
Yeah.
And
That
like
that
the Steelers have such a good and young defense, so like their best option would be to get a free agent quarterback. But like the Ravens and the Browns, I mean, their quarterbacks are both under 25, so it's like they're not going anywhere anytime soon.
yeah,
So
I mean,
such
dude,
a
honestly the Bengals' only chance to like sniffing the playoffs for like the next 4 or 5 years might just to be like fuck it, ball out everything, all our picks on offense, and just try to outscore
that,
the other
and
team.
then hoping like Big Ben retires and the Steelers management thinks Mason Rudolph can take them to the promised land, and then like you can
Not a
just
chance.
you know,
Not dented head.
exactly, but then you can just finish third in the division and like this year make the playoffs. So, um, yeah, it is like an interesting scenario. Like, yeah, you just walked away Joe Burrow and you're happy and your team's playing, well, this pet to the end of the year, you're gonna get top 5 pick probably, and then it's like, well, fuck, like when are we gonna take that next step? We have the Ravens, Browns, and even like last year when the Steelers had fucking Mason Rudolph, who's horrendous. Like their defense was the number one defense in football, and it was like
Yeah.
that's not an easy win at all. So it's like until the Steelers like lose their defensive guy or completely just, and they don't even have everyone this year. So it's like it's crazy, but it's a good division. I mean, it might be the best division in football. I would say the division with the Niners, Seahawks, and Rams. If the Niners are healthy, that's by far the
Right.
best division in
Yeah.
football.
If all the quarterbacks were healthy,
Yeah,
that's right there with them.
So
fuck, what was I gonna say? I really want to talk about like predictions I would have for these matchups, but it doesn't really make too much sense. Like, might as well wait till
well, that's
next
the
week.
thing is like so many different things can happen.
Right.
Like the Chiefs are the only team that we know what they're going to do, and they're having a bye.
Yeah.
So
I still like the Colts to make the playoffs here.
no, I think the Dolphins lose. I do think the Dolphins lose.
Yeah, of those 8 teams, like I definitely like if I'm the Bears and I had to pick one of those 8 teams to play at a neutral site, I would definitely pick the Dolphins 100%. It would have
Want to play the Dolphins?
I would have if I could pick
Mm-hmm.
2 of those 8 teams
Yes,
that
for sure.
for the Bears to play, like it would probably be the Browns or the Dolphins.
Yeah, like if I'm the I don't like I would 100% rather play, especially if like they're going to continue to play Tua. Like I don't care what happens.
Like what's going on with that quarterback situation?
Like even if they take him out at halftime, I still have a great first half because like Tua is like first off, it kind of seems like they're just like babying him, which is like, dude, you're going to be in the playoffs. You just
yeah,
gotta
he
let
could
it
be on a
loose.
snap count of some sort.
That and they're just like not throwing the ball downfield type of stuff. So it's like, I mean, dude, you got to just kind of let him loose. You know, you don't really have a choice. But
Yeah.
I agree. Like the Dolphins 100% out of the Colts, Ravens, Browns, Titans. They're definitely the team I would want to play. No questions asked. The team I would want to play. But let's talk about the NFC then, because next week we'll be able to get into matchups because there's just like I said, we don't fucking know what's gonna happen.
Yeah, no one really knows who's gonna play who yet.
So the NFC though,
like you said, the only thing that's guaranteed is that the Chiefs are gonna have that first round bye.
Yep, exactly. So NFC though, you got the Bears playing the Packers. Like you said earlier, with the Seahawks winning, if the Saints and Seahawks both win, it isn't it just if the Seahawks win though too? Because like even if the Saints lose, do the Seahawks have the tiebreaker over Green Bay?
So they didn't play this year.
Right. So
Because like the number one team from the NFC West going into this year was the 49ers.
Right.
So the Packers got to play the 49ers in Nick Mullins.
But does it go division then? Your division record?
It would for NFC seeding it was head to head, and then
is it conference or division?
Well, so it's so confusing because
is it different for like each
the tiebreaker within your own division is different from playoff seeding.
Okay.
So I'm pretty sure the first thing is obviously head to head.
Yeah,
and then
right.
and then I believe it's record against conference within your own conference. So record of I mean this description right here says the Packers are in very good shape to keep home field advantage and the lone bye for the NFC playoffs. They own the head-to-head tiebreaker over the Saints and lead both the Saints and the Seahawks by a full game after beating the Titans in Week 16. The Packers couldn't clinch number one with that win because the Seahawks, who hold a common games tiebreaker, won. So
if the Packers lose and the Seahawks win because of the common tiebreaker, the Seahawks would get the one.
That's what it is. Oh, dude, because the fucking Packers lost to the Vikings once, and
that's right, and
Seattle beat them once.
Okay, so
that's what it is.
So so the Packers are kind of in a must-win. Do you know who the Seahawks play?
Like this week?
Yeah,
they play San Fran.
Okay, so I mean, if you're obviously, well, it won't matter because the games are all the same time. But yeah, so the Packers are definitely going to try to play to win. But I mean, I would say out of even when the Bears started 5-0 or 5-1, whatever they were, I would say now I'd feel more confident to beat the Packers even before that, even during that start. Because I just think I think overall they're a better team right now, and also they're like buzzing. Like when they started early, with all those wins, like
Half of
you
them were lucky.
you never just felt comfortable. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
2 or
now,
3 of them were definitely lucky.
now they're blowing teams out, so you're like, okay, I can get
Yeah,
behind this.
I
But
I say of those first 5 games we won, like 3 of them could be like luck based. I would say like the Lions comeback was kind of
yeah,
lucky. The Falcons comeback was kind of lucky.
hmm
Um, I would say damn near the best game the Bears played in the first half of the season was that Thursday night against the Buccaneers.
defensively, I mean, they put on an absolute
Yeah, and then
clinic.
and then Nick Foles just like kind of hung around and did enough.
Yeah,
Kind of thing.
100%. I mean, but defensively, yeah, they put on an absolute clinic. I mean, they were Tom
Yeah,
Brady and then weren't able to do anything. But yeah, so like, like I said, I would if I was a Bears fans, I would feel, I mean, the most confident going into the Packers game right here, and it's at home, which I mean, it's not you're not gonna have home
yeah.
field.
People say it doesn't matter this year, but I
I
think
think
it,
it
I think it matters.
I think it's just comfortable.
Yeah, like you said
Like
earlier, like I don't think anybody wants to play in Lambeau snow right now, but um, except for the Packers.
no, that's what I'm saying. Even if there's 1,000 fans, they just feel more comfortable. Like
Yeah,
you like the Bears team, they've played more games at Soldier Field than they did anywhere else. So don't you think they'd be more comfortable there? So like I totally agree. But so then you got the Packers Bears, which I think is going to be a good football game. Seahawks Niners. I don't know. I mean, Kyle Shannon just fucking loves to win those weird games, but it's also
yeah.
like I think the Seahawks know that they need to win.
Their defense actually looked really good the past uh
Dunlap,
2 weeks.
or whatever his name is, he's really given their pass rush a complete and like uh fucking what's the word I'm looking for? Just juice.
Yeah,
So
I
I
mean they were putting pressure on like almost every single play
100%. So like
that they were passing.
yeah, so I think you got I think I think the Seahawks will win.
I do too.
I don't know. I honestly think the Bears Packers is a toss up. Like it'll be interesting. I think one of the biggest things will be what adjustment does their D coordinator make, the Bears D coordinator make, because they didn't have Akeem Hicks, which I think is huge for the Bears for
Yep,
the first time.
that's
But
very
it's also
true.
like they were just moving the ball like it was just practice. So it was like, what is he gonna do differently? Blah blah blah. I think that'll be a good game. And then like the Saints, who do they play?
The Saints play the Carolina Panthers.
Okay, so who knows? That might just be like a shitty game. But the Saints are kind of just like it doesn't really matter. I think the only like I don't know how they get the one. I don't think they can get the one seed no matter what, right?
Right, because the Packers played the Saints and defeated
Yeah,
them.
and like I think if it's the Saints versus Seahawks, the Seahawks have the head to head there too.
Yeah, so the Saints cannot get the 1 seed, but they could drop to
The
3 if they
three, right?
lost.
Yes, that makes sense. So yeah, I mean, which actually, honestly, like for most teams, I don't think it matters that much. For the Saints, I think it matters a lot because they're horrendous outside. So like they want that 2 seed. But then
Yeah,
again, like I said, if everyone wins, it doesn't really matter. But
yeah.
you
They
never
would go
know.
they would go from playing at home in New Orleans against possibly the Seahawks in the divisional
But
round
yeah, yeah, yeah.
versus having to play out in Seattle.
Right. No, exactly.
A
And I think
huge
that's
difference.
I agree 100%. So I think they're going to definitely try to win and then hope that the Seahawks
Yeah.
lose. And then you got the Cowboys are playing in New York, and I think the Cowboys win. I think it's
Do you think they're gonna sneak the division?
I fucking do. I think because Alex Smith, I would say this: if Alex Smith wasn't hurt, I think they would have beat the Panthers last week. Like the whole Dwayne Haskins debacle and everything like that. I think that really messed up the team.
Yeah.
And on top of that, like Dwayne Haskins sucks, so like that doesn't help. And then like the guy that's coming in, like he gave him a little spark, but like the Eagles are gonna go out all out. Like they can't. They have nothing to lose. And even
Right.
Jalen Hurts is gonna play his heart out. So it's like, and if
Like
Alex,
obviously they're not gonna draft a quarterback, so who cares if
yeah,
they win and draft in the
right.
draft order?
And it's like, and it's not like the Eagles. The Eagles are a weird team. They're kind of like the Cowboys, where it's like they have a lot of pieces. They're not like a necessarily young team, so it's not like they're like completely tossing anything in. They're probably going to try to sign free agents next year, run it back with Jalen Hurts and try to win the division. They're not like
Yeah,
the Bengals who are like are
I
super
fuck with
young.
Jalen Hurts too.
Like they're not completely rebuilding or anything. So they're
No.
definitely going to try to win. But I honestly fucking do. I think the Cowboys are about to sneak in, which is insane.
Yeah, it's wild. Like this conversation, like just because we're talking about the Eagles, like this conversation about quarterbacks and like leverage between like the players have the leverage or like do the offices have the leverage?
Yeah.
Huge quarterback deals. Like obviously, like you look at someone like Dak right now, and you see like the big struggles that the Cowboys have for the majority of the time they're gone. Everyone's like, holy shit, yeah, the players should get to like have the power and the deals
Yeah.
that they make. And then you look at like Jared Goff and Carson Wentz,
Yeah.
and it's like, holy fuck, like what were these front office dudes thinking?
Yep.
Like these guys suck.
Yep.
Like what is going on?
I think if you're Dak, like yeah, you want your team to win, but like deep down, you're kind of like, I hope Andy Dalton plays like shit, and then it's like, see, it's not like it's just inconsistency, and I'm definitely the best option. And then I hope like the Redskins lose, and it's like, see, the Cowboys just need to win, and they're in. And then Dak's like sitting back there, like we'd easily be 8-8 if I played. So
Yeah. I mean, if they gave if even if they did overpay Dak a little bit right now, like who the fuck cares? Your division is so dog shit. Just overpay Dak a little bit
yeah,
and win your division for the next 5 years.
well,
Like
that's the
no
thing.
problem.
If the Redskins can't get a quarterback figured out, it doesn't matter how good their defense is because
Or the Giants.
it's still so tough to win in the
Yeah.
NFL. So it's like if you can win 8 games, which I think everyone would kind of agree, if Dak played, they probably would be 8-8. Like they win the division by like 2 games. So yeah, to your point, yeah, overpay him a little, and then you're probably going to be division champs the way this is trending right now for like the next 4 years. Like
Yeah.
now, maybe the Eagles turn it around or something like that. Now, maybe they could, but like, is is the defense or is the division that good? No, not at
Yeah.
all.
I think you have a lot more wiggle room to overpay on a quarterback in a division like that, which is probably what the Eagles were thinking with the Carson Wentz
Yeah,
situation,
for
and they
sure,
got burned. But it looks way worse when they did have Nick Foles, and then they got a
for
choice
sure,
and still fucked it up. But
for sure.
I
And
don't know.
that
Um,
I agree with you. I think that's what the Eagles are thinking. Like, hey, if we just play like we have been the past 3 years with that, I mean, Wentz has been playing and that we've been doing very well. Like, yeah, dude, we're just going to win the division for another 4 years and then maybe go on a run and get lucky again. But yeah, I think the Cowboys are going to sneak in. Let's move on to Rams, Rams and Cardinals because this is kind of so the Buccaneers are clearly the 5 seed, and then whoever wins the
yeah.
NFC East.
So, um,
So wait, if the Bears lose, Cardinals and Rams are in no matter what, right? No matter who wins.
if yeah, so the Rams secure.
Or wait,
Uh,
no. If the Cardinals lose and the Bears lose, Bears are in, right?
if they both lose, the Bears still make it. Yeah.
Okay. And if the Rams lose and the Bears lose, the Bears are out
Yeah, and the Rams are in.
and Cardinals are in. Okay. Okay. So in reality,
So the
like,
Bears get in with a win or a Cardinals
yep.
loss.
Okay.
Rams get in with a win or a Bears loss.
Okay.
But the Cardinals need to win and the Bears to lose.
Right.
So they're
Yeah.
in the toughest spot.
100%.
Um, and then so the Rams could technically uh jump up to 5 and the Bucks could drop to 6.
If the Bucks lose and they win,
Yeah,
you know the Bucks are going to try to win though because they get to play the NFC East team then.
exactly. I
Yeah.
mean, that's a coveted spot to be in the first round of the
Yeah.
playoffs.
For sure. So
And then if
if they
whoever wins,
play Atlanta at home, so
yeah, I mean, the only tough thing about this year is like whoever wins that game. I mean, who if there's any upsets, including that game against the NFC East team, like you're gonna play the Packers. off of a bye week.
See, I would love to see either Drew Brees or Tom Brady go to Lambeau with it snowing.
Uh, yeah, probably one of them is gonna make it
But
unless the
also,
Rams go
like
crazy.
the Buccaneers, it's so interesting with them because it's like Tom Brady's been able to play in the snow throughout the years. So can
Yeah,
he do it again? Probably. The Saints had their number during the regular season, but it's so hard to beat a team 3 times. Um, Tom versus Seattle, probably a good game. So it's like, I don't know. But the Bucks have also, a few times been this year where it's like, Jesus Christ, they're gonna get blown out by anyone that's good that they play. So it'll be interesting though. So if the Bears, let's say the Rams and Bears or whatever, let's say the Rams win, Bears are in no matter what, then they would play the Saints or the Seattle, right?
we would play the Saints, assuming that the Saints beat the Panthers. Yeah,
Okay.
but if the Saints somehow lose, then we would play Seattle instead. But
Who would you
I
rather
don't
play?
know.
Would you rather go to Seattle or go to New Orleans?
I that's close, man.
I
The
honestly think I'd
Saints.
rather go to New Orleans.
See, I initially like my gut would definitely say that, but the Saints defense, and I've
It is
been there.
very good.
I've been there, and like I've made jokes about their defense being like super overrated, similar to like the Buccaneers kind of, but
Yeah.
their defense has definitely come around a little bit the second half of the season.
So the Saints
Um,
defense is very good. Um,
huh?
the Saints defense is very good.
Yeah. So I mean, I think I'd rather play. Oh man, Russell has definitely struggled a bit in the second half, but like their defense has held their offense up the past couple of games,
Well, that's like, yeah, but like, it's
which
like,
is
would
crazy.
you rather play a Drew Brees, how he's been playing this year, or a Russell Wilson in the fourth quarter? I'm probably going Drew Brees.
Yeah, and but the only thing about that is that I think that um I think Sean Payton is a great coach. Um
Yeah.
and they've already gotten to play the Bears.
The Saints have like choked every year.
I know, and that's tempting, but I
But Drew
think
Brees can't throw the ball down the field.
yeah,
Like that's why I think if you go back and like now I will say like yeah the Seahawks have been good on defense lately, but the Saints overall are definitely a better defense in Seattle and like so like you do have that, but like I think in terms of stopping people, I think you have a way better chance of stopping Drew Brees right now. Well, I don't know. Sean Payton is a good coach. That would be tough. I think it's because like
you could go either way with
for
it and
sure,
not
for
be
sure,
wrong or not be right.
for sure.
I don't think the Seattle has a very good run game right now either.
They
And
don't know.
like if you look at the Bears game against like the first time we played the Vikings, the first time we played the Packers, um, the when we played the Colts, like we kind of got shredded a little bit on the run game and didn't really stand a chance after the run game exposed us. And I mean, Kamara is definitely that type of player to be able to just fucking devastate your
Oh,
team
for
morale.
sure,
So
for
that
sure.
that's probably one of the other reasons I feel like I'd rather play Seattle.
Yeah, I got that. I get you on that for sure.
Um, but I mean, Russell Wilson is a beast. Um,
Yeah, it's yeah. I mean, either way, it's probably not the best, but I will like now if the Bears. Let's say this. Let's say the Rams win and the Bears get beat kind of handily again by the Packers. I would then say, you know what,
shit.
the Bears could probably maybe play with anyone or like get lucky, but they probably no matter what lose to the Packers. It's just like in the AFC, like if the Chiefs play their game, I truly don't think that anyone could beat them. So like, but it's like also like I don't think there's that dominant of a team in the NFC right now.
Yeah,
Other
I
than I would
mean,
say the Packers though, but like I said, if they go
yeah, if
and
the
beat them
Packers
in
are at home, they definitely look super crazy dominant.
For sure. That's what I'm
Um,
saying. So, like, if they go and beat the Bears again and have home field, then it's like, okay, they're probably the one team who you would say, who knows who could beat them.
I mean, in terms of beating the Packers, like you have to have like a good defense. So I mean, in terms of a team that has good defense and can run the ball, I would say like you have to be able to run the ball against the Packers too, so you take enough time off the clock.
Yeah.
I would probably like obviously I'm gonna say the Bears because our run game has been phenomenal the past 4 weeks.
I would say the
Um,
Saints, though.
and we have a good defense. Yeah, but Saints, obviously you have to say the Saints. And then I would partially have to say no, I can't even say the Bucks anymore without Ronald Jones.
I was
So
gonna say, in like, I don't know, like the Bucks. Yeah, I get like they're terrible against the pass though. Like,
yeah,
so like Rodgers can pick them apart. I would say if Goff is healthy and plays like one of his games that he like, you remember when he played on the Monday night game against Tampa Bay and he looked really good.
I hear that, but in the past 2 weeks, Cam Akers and Daryl Henderson are going to enter the IR.
No, I get that, but I don't think I think if Goff has a game like that, it's very hard to stop the Rams offense with how Sean McVay schemes it.
Yeah,
So I don't know necessarily if you need to run the ball. And the thing that the Rams have that a lot of teams don't is such a dominant pass rush, and they have Jalen Ramsey and good DBs. Like, but then again, if Goff comes out and plays like he did this past weekend, like there's not much the defense can do because like they're going to be put in so many bad situations, and if you give Aaron Rodgers good situations, they're done. So like the Rams, I wouldn't put in that category, but like if they somehow played their perfect game, which we've seen a few times this year, and you're like, oh shit, this team could win the Super Bowl. Then they come back next week and lose like to a horrible team. But yeah, I would say the Saints probably just because like with Sean Payton, Kamara, and the only thing is like the Saints. I mean, it shouldn't make a difference because they're all professional players. They're so bad outside in the playoffs historically. So I don't know. It'll be interesting. It's gonna be a great weekend of football, though. That's for sure.
yeah.
Great weekend of
So
football.
like what do you think is going to happen with these games then? Like who's in, who's out?
Okay,
What do
so
you
I
think?
honestly think because I think the Packers are going to take the game super seriously. I do think they beat the Bears, but I think the Bears are going to luck out because I think the Rams are now. This is unless Kyler plays, but I also think the Rams have a very good chance, even if Kyler does play.
Like if he plays hurt.
Yeah, exactly. If he's not
Yeah.
healthy, like if he can't throw the ball down the field, that's literally their entire offense. So I think the Rams beat them, and then I think so the Bears would get in at 7, and I think the Rams get in at 6. I think the Bucks are the 5 seed, and then I do think Seattle wins, but I think like I said, I thought the Packers won, so I think it doesn't matter. So the Packers are going to get the 1, and then I don't know if you said the tiebreaker between the Saints or whatever, but then I think
If all three of them win, it stays how it is right now.
okay, then obviously I think the Saints win, so that are the 2. Then the Seattle's the 3, and then like I said, I think the fucking Cowboys make it in the 4 spot.
Right.
Now, if Alex Smith, which they said last week, but now they're like we don't know what happened. Partially, I think that's just because his leg is so fucked up, so you can't really diagnose it. But um, if if Alex Smith is able to play, then I think we're having a totally different conversation. But I don't think he's like nearly healthy enough.
Right
So
right now the line is has Washington favored by 1.5.
okay, so they might
So
be
that has to be
assuming
assuming that
he's
he's
gonna
playing.
play, right?
Yeah.
But I saw Ron Rivera say something like that. One guy's playing, the guy who came in.
What's up?
Ron Rivera said something like the guy who came in is gonna play.
If he did, I didn't hear about it. No.
But yeah, so I don't know. We'll see. What about you? Who do you have?
Um. Yeah, I agree. I definitely think the Cowboys beat the Giants. I am right with you there. Um. Man, I really like Jalen Hurts. Like I really enjoy watching him play. Like
Yeah,
he's probably besides maybe like Justin Herbert and besides like Justin Herbert, like Jalen Hurts might be my like most entertaining rookie, like offensive rookie to watch this year. Um, Man, I really want to say the Bears. I think they got the right tools right now to beat a team like the Packers. Like, I also agree this being at home is huge.
Yeah, I think if
Um,
this is in Lambeau, I really don't think the Bears have any chance of winning. I think at home, the way they're playing, like this is their best chance to 100% to beat
I
the
mean,
Packers.
and like this is and Mitch has been looking phenomenal,
He has
and
looked really good.
this is just gonna be a perfect like final exam testament to like
Right.
what Mitch is made of. This is, I mean, obviously, this is a fucking playoff scenario type of game. Like,
I would say this is a playoff game because
yeah, yeah, it is. But like,
it's
also with like evaluating Mitch,
it's like
like you
when in
can
your yeah when you're in though. I think this is
right,
100% a playoff
like
game.
the management can use this game when they're doing final evaluations to figure out
Hmm.
like, hey, are we going to keep Mitch? I think the pack or I think we're going to lose on some bullshit last minute fucking field goal, and they're going to call some dog shit defensive holding or dog shit
Yeah,
um pass interference, and Mason Crosby is going to hit like a 56 yarder,
to
and
win.
we're gonna lose by like 2 points, something like that. Um, but
Okay.
I also agree. Like Kyler, I mean, I know because Kyler lost me one of my fantasy championships this week. Kyler did not look good. I think he was hurt before the end of the first drive in the second half. Like he did
Oh no,
not.
a bunch of people said like he did not look the same.
Nah, he looked like he was struggling. Um, but man, like the Rams have like almost like I don't know who they're gonna play at running back. It's just it's so hard. Like this is gonna
Yeah.
be such a stressful week for Bears fans.
Yeah.
Um,
And what's even more stressful is like I get why they're doing it because obviously you don't want anyone to have an advantage, but like even what's more stressful is like
they're gonna
you
be playing at the same time.
yeah. So like you can't
That's
like
gonna be
it's
dog shit.
like if the Bears played at 1 and they won, you could be like, okay, fuck, I don't even have to watch this game. Or if they lost, you'd be like, okay, I can completely cheer for the Rams this
Right.
entire time.
I mean, I know like going back the past 3 weeks, like obviously it would have been a very favorable situation for the Bears to get to play second team Packers. But you know, if we're gonna make the playoffs and we're gonna be a legitimate contender, this is a great game to play right before the playoffs start. This Packers team is arguably the best team right now in the NFL, probably at least the second best team in the NFL.
Right.
Um, I mean, if we can hold our own / win this game, obviously we won't have a home game in the playoffs, but shit, if we beat the Packers and Seattle takes the 1 seed, that would be phenomenal.
Oh,
Because then,
I think you have all the momentum going into the playoffs for
yeah,
sure. No, I think this is a huge game, and like I think also like if the Packers come out and like kind of control the entire game and win, like even if you guys make the playoffs, I think it kind of kills a lot of the confidence because it's like okay, maybe we did just beat shitty teams. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
especially
but yeah,
especially
we're
if the,
beating shitty teams, but we're being the shitty
I
teams by
know, but
a
then
lot.
if you play one good team and get your ass kicked, it's like okay,
Yeah, I mean,
I think even if they play good, I'm saying I think even if they come play good and like you said, we lose on some bullshit Mason Crosby kick, like it's still like okay. I mean, who other than like the Packers are playing as good as anyone, so like we just went toe to toe with them. Like that's not necessarily a bad loss. Now if
yeah,
they come in and beat them like they did the last time, then I think it's like okay, well you know we just beat shitty teams. We don't have as much confidence, but you know I think it's a big game and definitely I mean, obviously it's a huge game, but like I think there's definitely
yeah.
a lot of different
Plus,
things.
we did get a lot of good defensive rest for the Jaguars game. Um, so I mean, this is a good scenario for Akeem and Khalil to kind of find some magic. I mean, literally historically, the best defensive first half ever in Bears history was Khalil Mack's debut game against the Packers
Yeah.
week 1 of 2018. Like
Yep.
we
Yep.
just we just need some I mean, the Bears defense has been great, but like not a terribly like high amount of turnovers, especially like in clutch slash
Right.
high stress situations. I
Yeah.
think to have a chance against Aaron Rodgers here, we're gonna need at least one turnover like that in the first half, no
I
doubt.
agree with that. I agree with
Like
that.
we need to be we assuming if we're not getting the ball first second half, we can't be down by more than a field goal going into halftime.
For sure. I agree with that.
So,
But all right, we'll have that Sunday. Nagy will be stressed out watching the games.
yeah, I might have to do a video.
Yes, for sure. I think we might need one. But we'll tweet our picks. It's early in the week for this one, and a lot of the lines aren't even out, so we're not even going to give our picks. I figured right
Yeah,
now. I think
no Thursday, no Saturday games
yeah,
this week. It's all
yeah.
Sunday.
So we have that plus with a lot of people sitting out and stuff. I think we're gonna have to wait until like Friday to give our picks for these games.
Yeah, we'll probably
So
tweet them out like Saturday, maybe before the bowl games start
yep,
on Saturday, something
exactly,
like that.
exactly. So we will be tweeting our picks out next week. We'll have the playoff shows. So and we're coming down. Me and Olina are fucking horrible. We're all horrible right now. So it's gonna
Such
be
a bad week.
so it's a big week because I think we have maybe you're on a what, a 1 or 2 game losing streak.
I think I'm on a two do or die.
I know Alina's on a 2. I actually think you are on a 2 too. So I'm on a 1. So this is a
Well,
big week for you.
Brad might have hit three again, but
Yeah,
he ain't gonna do it.
I'm pretty sure you hit 3 again. But we'll, like I said, we'll tweet our picks. So follow it at Victory Lap Bets. See everyone next week. Peace.